One can never be without another. You can see everything but never the seer, because there is no seer. You are what is seen as experience. The one who sees is every object that is seen. It is not an apart as separated entity who stands somewhere and sees the seen. The more you try to see the seer, the more his presence becomes a mystery. But when you start looking for the seer, you don't find a trace of him, and when you persist trying to see him, then the only thing you will find is the things that are seen. The seer becomes the thought and cannot be found, and that is the end of searching. There are no other perceptions than the perception of the moment, and whatever perception is felt on that moment is I. There exists no I separated from an experience or moment, or an experience separated from I. Which means that the two things are the same. No separated means oneness. When you are your experience, you are the world that is experienced in that way. The inner experience called you and the outer experience called world are one and the same experience, two names for one feeling. You are the totality of your experiences. The separate self is illusion. Why are you unhappy? Because 99% of what you do is for yourself and there is no self. Somewhere on the world happiness is felt. If you focus on that feeling, you are that feeling. You are that happiness. You can focus on sorrow too. You create your own world. This wisdom is Buddhi, your own reality. All experience is only one moment of the now. This way you can see that time does not exist. Time is a measurement between the one moment of experience conscious moment, and the other. Time is a wave of consciousness. Time does not move. You move through the experiences which we have split into parts, because otherwise we cannot experience everything simultaneously. By dividing into parts, place appeared also. From here to there needs time to get there. By eliminating thinking, the realization arises, the knowing that only experience or being exists. So only the moment of experiencing. That is now, and that is eternity. You are the totality, the whole, and only a part can suffer, and a part is illusion. There is no apart self, you are always the whole, which is freedom. So you are freedom, and thereby you escape the part that is suffering. When someone realizes that his self is the true self of the cosmos, the apparent death of the individual form is not only acceptable but even wanted. Does not mean that you literally have to leave the body. This means you will not lose anything by doing this. On the contrary, you win all. You are the totality, the self and the no-self. We only focus on the self and are afraid of losing the self by accepting the no-self. On the contrary, you just become whole. Loss does not exist. Pain is resistance. Pain is the thought error. Irony is that man lives with the happiness inside of him and searches outside in vain. Time and time again he goes down by his own illusion. Home is in your heart. Movement is form. As long as you move, you must come to rest. It contains the formation, the energy. It is hard work to come to a standstill. The I wants to continue, but you are immortal. The I wants development and future, but you are already everything. The I wants a form, but you are already formless. You hide your fear in always new thoughts. You are light that disappears in light. You are emptiness without losing a thing to emptiness, without wasting anything of fullness. Die of limitation. You don't live anymore, but you are not dead. We always are afraid of loss, while nothing exists but gain. The hardest part is to abandon your fear, because you think you'll lose your identity. Everything that exists is to be divided in fear or love. Let go of fear means to win love. Fear is personal, love is universal. Show your weakness to God, He will make power of it. Sai Baba says about the world that it is hard. This belongs to the world, for the purpose is to frustrate and to evoke needs. Man will then try to satisfy these needs, doesn't succeed because he searches the need outside himself, and the satisfaction is only to be found inside yourself. Pain only exists as long as there remains attachment to outer forms. Total liberation of pain only originates by the loss of ego, by the surrendering of that which has such a memory and is trained in that way that it helps recognize difference between pleasure and pain. The world is suffering. Expect nothing else from the world. I wanted your whole formed existence to consist of suffering to pull you to me. God does not ask for hope or despair, both are relative. The universal being stands beyond hope and despair, beyond certainty and doubt, does not stick to conclusions. Live by the day. What must happen tomorrow, you'll see tomorrow. Take one day at a time, each day for itself, without past, without memory, without conclusion. Conclusions bind, they press on the mind. The newborn baby is not limited by conclusions. All conclusions are binding. Most people are caught in conclusions they have drawn. Everything must change, but I tell you, consciousness can keep on existing even when forms decay, even when the world is fleeting. You can choose endlessly struggle with apparent contradictions or abide in the peaceful center of the storm. The center is quiet, firmly immobile, but the mind will be pulled along the outline, the objective desires, to move along rolling over mud, stones, sand and thorns. The mind will not believe that it can draw pleasure out of the middle point instead of the outline without having to undergo the heavy journey across the rough terrain. Learn to let all conflicts that the mind creates be played out by themselves and eliminate each other. Be a witness. The final solution for the conflict is not confined in a decision or even in a choice, but in being passive. Have the courage not to decide. Consider the endless dilemmas of the mind as a divine play. View the mind from a distance. Don't get involved with its twists and turns. Everything then becomes insignificant. When everything turns back to the point where it has no more meaning, you are in the center, in equanimity. Ask yourselves who you are and how you can ever be aware of that truth. Don't be a willing victim of the endless tricks of the mind. If you rely on me, I shall guide you. Your mind keeps asking for rules, but when you get those rules, you'll find that you cannot keep yourself to it. Rules cause rigidity, violence. They don't blossom out of love, nor do they spread love. There is always a way to do something without a stick behind the door. You become restless because you long for rest and cannot get it. And it is the reaction on the restlessness that is wrong, not the restlessness itself. Restlessness itself is like the rise and fall of a wave in the ocean that you are yourself. It does not matter as long as the depths are safe. Failure is irrelevant. Success is not important. The river of eternity always flows into the ocean of the highest will. You are a part of that will. That is the reason why you search for Him, to merge in Him, and so to find fulfillment and bliss. Countless generations have tried to direct themselves to the world for comfort and support, to satisfy the hunger, but the hunger still gnaws. Let go! Don't cling to temptations of the world. Be still. The separate cannot continue. God is all. The restlessness comes from separation, the pressure exerted by the separated one against that which he is separated from. All is God. How can you exclude God from His domain? By the presumption to be separated, you pose limitations on God. That's why the restlessness, because you too are divine and your reality protests against that limitation. Bring the ever-recurring longings of your mind to me every time they arise. They cannot shock me because it is my will they arise. Bring me your confusion, your fear, your greed, your anxiety, your incapacity to love the world, your reluctance to serve, your envy, all shortcomings that stand in your way. There are no insuperable obstacles for me. For me, the one is not more important than the other. I am absolute. I will expose you to all forms of existence, so you will learn to rely on me in all situations. Have an unwavering faith in me, and I shall carry your burden. Always, on each moment, in every place, I am where you need me. All things outside of you are conditioned by the limits of time and space, by the laws of material nature. My outer form is no exception to that. If you want to see my physical form, I have to come within the field of your vision, but even then it might be that I don't look at you, although I see you always. But I am omnipresent. The limitations of body and senses don't count for my inner eye. This way you can see me always and everywhere. Baba once showed me that his outer form does not really matter, but surely his energy in the form. For it's not the form that gives joy, but the relation with it. He made me know, suppose I had another look, and not like this form now with this hair and this orange robe. Then you would love that other appearance and push the one who walked aside with the looks, hair and dress that I have now away to see me. This makes clear that it is about a relation, and this relation you can also have with the form of his picture. You can have it even with everything. If you would see that truth in every form in the universe, you would experience overwhelming joy. By studying the eternal reality, you won't get joy out of that truth. Only the practice of the truth can give happiness. Otherwise, everybody would be realized immediately by reading the teachings. To win God's grace, you need not only be busy with studies, but experience God internally and assure you of your own deepest consciousness. Only that mercy has value. That mercy you can acquire by eliminating your I feelings. Man disposes of knowledge and science, but does not experience inner peace, because all that wisdom has perishable value. By what you learn from books, you will not come to unity with God. Not the words are the meaning count, but the own experience, being aware. To the ignorant, the world occurs as multiplicity. For the wise, there is only God, on whom all other is projected. The visible world is as unreal as the dream world. In our illusion, the reality of God is hidden behind the world. The suffering and hardship in this world are based on illusion. We fill our lives with activities that are connected to our mind. This way, we get impressions that influence our character. Of good and bad activities, we must investigate the effect on our lives. This surely counts for happenings associated with joy or sorrow. They leave deep impressions in our mind. The thoughts in us determine how we feel about something. We experience everything in ourselves. You just see your own part in the other. The part you see in the other is in you. Either the other is part of you, is you. Baba once gave me a wonderful answer on an event that impressed me deeply. I was on the way with the car and I did not see the highway through nature, but nature with the highway through it. Everywhere lay squashed animals and I was melancholic and thought, in fact, this is their territory. These gullible creatures have nowhere to go. A bit later, a traffic jam. A great dog lay motionless next to the busy traffic, run over. His fur was dirty. The contrast of that silence next to the busy touched me deeply. I was devastated, my heart cramped with pain. A couple of days later, I was on the way with my bike and saw a blood-red rose full of splendor in the sun. The contrast of that silence next to the busy touched me deeply. I was devastated, my heart cramped with joy. I asked, Baba, teach me to experience joy not only in the jubilant sunlight, but also in the grey clouded day full of silence? Here is his answer. The moment something occurs and you learn from it, it occurs for you. A rose that catches a drop of sunlight and touches your eye has sprouted and grown from the earth for you to come to full bloom on that one moment you enjoy it. A dog that came on earth as a puppy and dashed wildly through life to find an end to that life by a car that runs over him, whereby his joyful jumps comes to a halt, died for you. You have, just like him, grown to that moment, to meet each other in the flash of life and death, in the full riches of that moment. It might as well have been you that died. You were it, but you are also the blossoming rose. Every event has the meaning that you give it. Well, to learn to see the beauty in the death of the dog as well as in the blooming rose is the life mission. That's why I gave you the dying dog and the blooming rose. It might as well have been the other way around, the blossoming dog and the dying rose. Everything has form till you see the formless in it. The dog has, just like the rose, grown out of the same force. The rest is insignificant. Thank you, Baba, for this beautiful lesson. The answer was there all the time. You were ready to ask for it. At the moment you can outlive your own dying, you read the words of wisdom, not anymore with your eyes, but in the value in your heart. The totality is in the formless as well as in the form. Everything is love. Everything rises from your own love, a love so intense that a big bang flared out and all the planets started to turn around their own axis with all forms of illusion you can imagine. As soon as you image something, it is there. Even God is an imagination of the Spirit. From my yearning he was born. From his yearning I was born. Crashing like a stone, I rise up like a bird. Once we have the slightest awareness of the enormous love of Sai Baba and appreciate the abundance that he offers us, you become still and grateful for all the chances you are given to get inside and follow your own way to your own inner self. He gives what you ask for, what will teach you the most on this moment. Actually, you indicate your own pace. He reacts to that which you are ready for and helps even if you don't realize it. When you realize that, you feel such pure love that you want to surrender everything to be able to express that love. All you want is to serve. You only see Him in all and everything. You drown in God and don't even try to breathe. You accept all and welcome all as a gift from Him who takes you to your inner. On the way He thinks good for you, to the eye of the storm, then you first must and can brave all gales and storms. If you accept God's guidance, you will certainly arrive safely. You become grateful for the attention He has for you. You see His mercy in all that happens to you and cry tears of happiness during the pain, because by the pain you learn to see the opposite. All different causes give one and the same effect, pain. You start to realize that pain is not a real pain as effect on what is happening, but more like a sadness, a shortcoming that remembers that you are separated from Him and approaching more. As an example, I see little children on daycare where I work. They cry when their mother leaves, but then are distracted and start to play. When the mother returns, they don't laugh, but on the contrary start to cry because they were separated. Pain is actually a memory of how good it was, how safe. And you are sad because you missed so much for so long. The closer to home, the stronger the separation is felt. The closer you come to me, the more I will burn of you, says Baba. You feel that it is not so much longer to be in balance. Balance is in fact another word for God or heaven or being liberated. Baba teaches you with love and a soft hand to give up fighting. With love, He leads you to the love inside, to feel devotion for your higher self. The love which He is in you gives you all the strength to overcome anything that you think hurts. Through dedication, you see anything on your way not only as acceptable, but even necessary and desirable. Trust in my wisdom, He says. Then thinking also falls away. Everything is done. God lives His love in your heart. Furthermore, there is nothing that counts. God is every visible and invisible form, but we don't see Him, cannot do anything with that. That's why He took also a form identical to us, so we can communicate with Him. By grace He has gone into a form to teach there is no difference between yourself and the all-encompassing love. There is no difference, not between waking and sleeping, not between living and dying. All depends on your consciousness. We are undivided, eternal one, connected with each other. When you die, you merge in God, of course. When you live, you already merging with God. Your body has nothing to do with that. We dream and will wake up. Baba shows that all is perfect in origin, and if we follow him, we will automatically return to our peace. He teaches us how precious life is and in what way we actually should live, full of warmth and attention for each other, so that love tinkles in your heart. You can rise up and glide in a great height instead of trying to fly with broken wings. If only you try to do God, He does the rest. He teaches us to love without thinking, love without hands, love without having. Because unity consciousness is in everything, there is no way to reach it. Our problem is the same of someone who jumps from wave to wave searching for water. By constant looking somewhere else, we move away from the answer. Being busy seeking takes up so much that we prevent ourselves from finding it, namely in ourselves. We walk around with it while searching. We don't really look for it, we flee it. To meditate is not what you use to get insight and enlightenment. Meditating is an expression of being enlightened. Being enlightened is the only way of living. Every act arises from eternity, from the unlimited. Not only prayers, meditation, practice, singing of God's name, but every act. Also simple work like cleaning, not in the sense that we think about enlightenment while cleaning, but because cleaning on its own is in origin enlightenment. In unity consciousness, nothing can exist but oneness. It cannot be divided because everything is included in it, so a way to it is not possible. The searching for it keeps the finding at distance, but not searching also means not finding. What then? Is there anyhow something to do? What are we looking for, by the way? As if you have a plate full of food before you and you scream with hunger, but no matter how much food there is, and in whatever way you are aware of it, if you don't eat, your hunger does not go away. It's all about the decisions to take, and you, the one who really you are, your being one with all, cannot decide. As long as you do that, yourself is present in that decision to do or not to do. And the point is that you let everything happen, that you let the original state go its way, and that state shall make you feel without fail inside yourself that it is you, that original state, but without your will or force. It shall make you eat automatically. That already happens with your physical hunger, that you don't do yourself. You trust that automatically, that body. Why not trust the original spirit? What does it actually indicate? The separation of that origin, of that mind, which we call thinking, only indicates wishes. Always it wants something, but certainly not unity consciousness. Then it is namely gone. It must stay apart to assert its own existence. The only thing it can is to stay apart. That is called self, And that is the loneliness which makes us suffer. And so it keeps God, softness, love on a distance. You cannot practice to reach it. It is already there. You cannot reach it, for that would mean that you didn't have it at first. And so there would be a beginning and an end to oneness. Impossible. You don't have it, think not to have it, want to have it, think you want it. Start your practice, and should you have it then? Then oneness would consist of different parts, a beginning, halfway, and end of it. That is not unity consciousness. Deep inside you know very well that all is one. You feel it when you meet people with the same appearance and consciousness. Why do you not feel that with the one that does not agree with you? There starts the difference in your awareness, which itself is changing, so in its own thinking apart from all. Only in thinking it is a part. Of course, thinking is a part. And that thinking is which wants to keep us apart from unity consciousness. It is only the thought that wants to be apart. It cannot be otherwise, but thoughts is never the truth. It is a receiving of images, and those are appropriated by that which you call I. Then what should you do? What should you not do? All that you do comes from unity consciousness. It is a movement from that oneness that gives you the urge to act and to live and to shine and laugh. That what makes you anxious and worried about losing, just that is what your thoughts reach out to you. It's all they have to offer you, and to that you listen to. By your environment and old habits, only by paying attention to that can make you return to the original which you already are before you drifted away. What is the use of gold jewelry if you lock it in a cupboard for fear of theft? Then you will surely possess it when you die, but the brilliance was already forlorn during your life. Actually, you resist the splendor which you so much like to see. Actually, we resist God. God is nothing but life in all its forms. You only can be, exist, be present in everything life offers you. This you might call practice. To live as it occurs. So unity consciousness is not something which shall come in future, then it would be tied in time and could also stop being. To live in the now without planning and running after that, in the wanting to reach, the will exists and never the reached. What you want to reach is the state you left from. You have that already. That you can call God, love, life. Life is splendid if you leave it be as it is and don't separate yourself from it. Then you take leave of your true life happiness just to be able to say, I am somebody, I am better, I am great. Don't you see it? Just look at me. I need it so bad that you see me. Confirm me, then I shall confirm you. Only to be able to stay in that separation. That's why we put in all that effort. Too ridiculous for words, isn't it? To stay focused on the positive way and not being pulled by worldly concerns and follow the will of the separated mind, which is so in need by his separation and never satisfied. It is good to be in company of people who are spiritually developed, certainly if you can still be influenced. You can find support And friendship gives you confidence in your own strength to be strong, even when things don't go well. In nature, everything adapts. Men, too, adapt to each other. We want to be accepted. You are influenced and formed enormous by company. And the company where you like to be shows if and how you grow in the right direction. Till you are capable to lift the spirit above the vibration of earthly consciousness, you are influenced by all energies that caused the suffering and disharmony in the world. Your unconscious mind is guided by repetitions, rhythm, and emotions. It emits the impulse of what is perceived. You react unconsciously and transmit frequencies and attract people who respond to the same frequencies. As you aim to higher dimensions of consciousness, you start to realize how you can change and create your external environment again so that it fits better with your new image of reality. Then the feeling of oneness with others and the whole creation is being developed. You know that everything that influences you affects the whole creation. It's time to go listen to our intuitive inspiration, our higher consciousness. It will help to go on the right track. On this very moment that God Himself walks on the earth, enormous things happen on cosmic level. Maybe without realizing, we are flooded with light. A cleaning is in progress, which many people will probably experience as a headache or other small or greater cleanings. Maybe you feel suddenly scared, sad or angry, or all of a sudden full of joy for no apparent reason. These are the symptoms of transformation. You are losing your density. The change has already occurred and you receive all support to grow through this transition process. Pay attention. You can trust the universe, your spirit, your intuition. Resistance to change only results in suffering. God, the universe, gives you all that you ask for. If you say, I want, the universe says, I want, and the wish remains. You cannot have what you want, but you can experience everything you have. I want pushes away. I am brings closer. Everything on this planet is a reflection of heaven. All happenings in your life only have the goal to let you experience who you are. When you know who you are, nothing happens anymore. Right inside in time makes you live in peace. Time doesn't know movements and is only one moment. Someone who experienced something really beautiful says, time stood still. Well, time does stand still. When you also stand still, you experience those kinds of moments that determine your life. On such a moment, you experience God. God is a quality, an energy, a state of being, and not some figure who lives somewhere far away with a white beard and who judges over us or rewards us or punishes. God is another word for peace. Many people have learned, I wonder from whom and do they know it, that God is someone outside of us, so there is distance, and we direct ourselves to what is outside of us and will always be dependent of that which is far away. Actually easier, a far from me show. You need not do anything. While God, now in the form of Sai Baba, is teaching us that He lives in us. He sent His Son as an example. Could He then not appear Himself? Who are we to limit his power? He is now here as Sai Baba and appeared before as Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, and will appear time and again if the world goes down by ignorance and egoistic selfishness. Let be what is. Let love and peace exist. Nothing happens to you. Only goodness comes over you. That goodness that lives in him also lives in us, and we can raise ourselves to that state of spirit, of being conscious, awareness, so we remember who we are: God, peace, love. You just have to allow it. A divine incarnation literally became flesh. Carne is meat. A divine incarnation like Sai Baba is called an avatar. Sai Baba's own words about it. An avatar behaves like a human being so that mankind can feel connected, but he uplifts himself far above human level so that mankind also will attempt to reach that height. To reach that level, we must clean our inner mirror by changing all our wrong ideas. Therefore, it is not necessary to believe in Sai Baba, but surely in ourselves. Your happiness is not to be found outside. That would be something. Then you would forever be depending on others or from things around you. Then you give the other power over you. If happiness would be a new car, everyone with a new car would be happy all the time. Happiness is found by being content with everything around you in your life, even when it is painful, for that pain is surely the signal that the chance is working in us. A part of us is dying, so something new can be born, something richer, more beautiful. In nature too, everything dies to become new. You create your own circumstances. God is creator, we are creators. Just look at your own life. You can steer it like you steer a car. The car is the vehicle of our body. The mind is the vehicle of our soul. You want this, and this happens. You want that, that happens. Look out the window of your house. You have an impression of the world through that window. On that moment, the world looks like that. Look out the window of the backside. Then your world looks like that. This doesn't mean that the world on the foresight does not exist. It's just not in your view. On that moment, it is not there. You don't experience it. And when you think about war, you are in war at that moment. When you think about peace, then you are in peace on that moment. Your mind determines everything. You are your mind, so you decide all. When your mind is there, you are there. As you think, you shall be, said Jesus. The more troubles you have, the more chances you get to take out positivity of them. When you have understood them, you can stand them. They are not necessary anymore and will not come back. Sai Baba says, happiness lies in sorrow. You cannot get happiness out of happiness. You only can get happiness out of difficulties. If only happiness existed, you would not recognize it and not experience joy, because there was no opposite. Therefore, difficulties have priceless value. They make you strong, if you want to. You have the choice, so again you create your own life, which is not dependent on anyone. You yourself are responsible for your own reactions. If you decide, I want to be happy, you are. No one can change anything about that if you don't let them. No matter how much they take away from you, you always have more to give. The supply of love is infinite. Also the love for yourself, especially the love for yourself, your own core, which is good and unchangeable. That core keeps existing even when our body around it falls away. We create ourselves a new body and new circumstances to continue to grow to our peace, till we, after many lives, need no body no more, and arrived at our place where there is only light. If you then experience light and peace, everything is light and peace. Out of every window you look. It is an enormous experience of happiness when we don't expect anything from others around us. Then your own happiness comes up if we don't hinder it to come up. Feel it. Let this warmth in you come up. That joy, that power, that is God. That we have inside of us. When you are happy for something around you, this happiness is in you because you feel it. So you can ignore the cause of happiness. That's what Baba means. We are equal to him. We have the same power. Joy or sorrow? Choose, create. If you choose for happiness, everything around you changes. Not only your vision, but really the circumstances as a reaction to your vision. There lives something great and strong inside, but why do we first wait for the pain before we bring it up the opposite? We search for happiness, our own love, still on the wrong place. It is inside of us. Nevertheless, it seems incredibly difficult to love yourself enough. We think we need others for that. Pain has a goal. Pain derives from desires. Desire comes from wrong thinking. Pain comes from wrong thinking. Life serves to change thoughts. Buddha said, life is a necessary hindrance that precedes real existence.